There's a kind of awareness that feels like a gift at first, a sharper perception, a deeper understanding, a mind that notices details, patterns, emotions, and truths that others completely miss. People may call you insightful, intuitive, analytical, or emotionally intelligent. They may admire how quickly you pick up on things, how deeply you understand people, how clearly you see through situations. But there's another side to this awareness, a darker one. A side that most people will never understand because they don't carry the burden of seeing too much, too clearly, too early. This video explores the dark side of being too aware, the emotional, psychological, and existential weight that comes with a mind that refuses to live on the surface. Let's begin. You see the hidden motives behind people's words and actions. Most people take interactions at face value, but when you're deeply aware, you see beneath the surface. You notice insecurity behind confidence, fear behind anger, longing behind sarcasm. You sense manipulation before others even notice the red flags. You feel the emotional temperature of a room the moment you walk in. This makes you wise, but it also makes you tired. Because once you see the real motives behind people's actions, you can't unsee them. And sometimes, knowing the truth hurts far more than the lie ever could. You feel the emotional energy of others so intensely it becomes overwhelming. Being too aware means being emotionally porous. You absorb moods, tension, frustration, sadness, excitement, everything. You walk into a room feeling fine, and within minutes you're carrying emotions that don't belong to you. People call you empathetic, but empathy has a cost, emotional drainage. When you're too aware, you feel the world too deeply. And sometimes this depth suffocates you. You see problems before they happen, and it makes the world feel unsafe. Your mind is constantly scanning, predicting, anticipating. You see the cracks in relationships before anyone else notices them. You see the consequences of bad decisions before people make them. You see where things are heading long before they arrive. This turns awareness into anxiety. It becomes difficult to relax because you know what could go wrong. You're not pessimistic, you're realistic. But realism can feel like a curse when you see dangers others ignore. You notice how fragile everything is. Being too aware means understanding the impermanence of life. You know that relationships can shift. Opportunities can disappear, people can change, and stability can crumble. This awareness gives you perspective, but it also prevents you from feeling truly safe. When you understand how temporary things are, it becomes harder to enjoy them without fear. You're always aware of the invisible countdown, how long until this ends. This sensitivity makes joy feel temporary and loss feel inevitable. You recognize your own flaws with painful clarity. People who lack awareness can hide from their flaws. You can't. You see your patterns, wounds, fears, self-sabotage, and contradictions with brutal precision. Your self-awareness is both your greatest strength and your greatest torment. You understand yourself, but sometimes you understand yourself too well. You see every mistake before you make it, every insecurity before you feel it, every weakness before it shows. And this makes self-compassion difficult. You pick up on the world's hypocrisy, and it crushes your idealism. When you're too aware, society becomes transparent. You see how systems manipulate people, how institutions hide truth, how social norms reward conformity, how status is often an illusion, how morality shifts with convenience. You see the cognitive dissonance in people's beliefs. You see how often humans contradict themselves. And the more you see, the harder it becomes to stay innocent. Awareness strips away the protective illusions that keep people comfortable. And comfort is something the overly aware rarely experience. You can't stop thinking, even when you want peace. Awareness is not passive. It's active. It's alive. It never stops scanning, analyzing, decoding. Even when you want silence, your mind keeps moving. It replays conversations, dissects behaviors, predicts outcomes, and tries to understand everything. Overthinking isn't a habit, it's a default state. And when your awareness becomes hyperactive, peace becomes a luxury you can rarely access. You know when people are lying to themselves. One of the hardest parts of being too aware is witnessing self-deception. You see people justify their own suffering. You watch them cling to relationships that hurt them. You see them sabotage opportunities, avoid growth, and protect their ego at the expense of their future. You can't force truth into someone who isn't ready. And watching people destroy their own lives while pretending everything is fine is one of the quiet heartbreaks of being too aware. You see the deeper meaning behind everything, even things that others think are meaningless. A simple conversation becomes a psychological map. A routine moment becomes symbolism. A minor detail becomes a revelation. Your mind searches for meaning in every corner of life. But this constant search can become exhausting. Not everything needs to be meaningful, but your mind insists it is. And that insistence can pull you into existential spirals that others never experience. Here's the truth. Being too aware is not a weakness. It's not a flaw. It's not something you need to fix. It's a form of intelligence, emotional, psychological, and existential. But like all forms of intelligence, it comes with weight. The weight of seeing clearly in a world built on illusion. The weight of feeling deeply in a world that avoids emotion. The weight of knowing too much in a world that fears knowledge. Awareness is a light, but it can also blind you. It can isolate you. It can exhaust you. It can make the world feel heavier than it should. But the solution is not to dim your mind. The solution is to learn how to carry its brightness. Because when you learn to master your awareness, when you learn to set boundaries, to choose what deserves your attention, to let go of what you can't control, your awareness stops hurting you. It starts guiding you. And when it does, the dark side transforms into a powerful gift. You may be too aware for this world, but that means you see the world as it truly is.